Hi, Ben here, and welcome back to the workshop. And we had a few people ask us last time. We did a how to etch your maker's mark onto a knife blade, and a few people asked how I also use a stamp method to put my logo on the blade. So on certain tools with certain blade finishes, I actually prefer to actually emboss my logo into the blade before heat treatment while it's still in its annealed form, in its soft state, before we've done any heat treatment. And I also like to use this sort of milled finish, this sort of surface that comes from the actual steel factory. It leaves this really nice rustic finish on the steel, so actually stamping the logo in there is more effective than actually electrochemically etching it in there. So we thought we'd show my setup and how I go about doing it, just to help a few of you knife makers out there. So originally, when I first started doing the tool making, I showed some of my very early tools to a guy called John Warnes, who used to run Woodland Craft Supplies, and he liked my tools, but he says that I needed to work out a logo for them to sort of give them a sort of connection and know where obviously the tools were manufactured. So I came up with this logo, which is my Celtic knot with my name under it, however many years ago, far too many, and I had this hand stamp made by a guy called Chris up at Davidson's Steel Stamps that are still running now. In fact, I only spoke to him this morning actually to get another steel stamp made, but I had this stamp made probably, I don't know, 18, 20 years ago, and it's still going strong. This is actually the very original one that I had made. I did have a spare made at the same time, and I ended up actually grinding that off, and that's just got my name underneath it, and that's what I use for all my crook knife blades and all my carving tools. I use that. And I still use this just with a conventional hammer, because they're very small tools, and obviously because it's a small stamp it works really nicely. What you will find, if you've got a fairly complicated logo, hammering it in won't be that effective. What you'll find is that it will have a tendency to bounce, and you'll get these sort of like skip marks that will actually go into the blade. And you'll also find that if you're trying to leave a very polished finish on the blade, you want a very even stamp, so that when you do polish the blade after heat treatment, you won't sort of rub out some of your actual maker's mark. So I've gone off using the hand stamp version, kind of through a friend on Instagram, a guy called Ben Tendick out in Oregon. I saw his setup, and Ben is a welder, so he had the skills to actually weld up a very simple frame, and he used a little hydraulic bottle jack to emboss his logo into his blades. And I thought, well, that looks fantastic. I'm not much of a welder, so I got on to thinking, and I thought, well, I'll actually buy one of these pre-made hydraulic presses. These are designed for sort of engineers and mechanics, for pushing out bearings and things like that. So this is a 10-ton hydraulic press, and I've got it set up so that I've actually sort of improved the setup slightly. It comes with these mild steel blocks for him sort of using underneath the press. You'll find if you use those directly, you'll find that you get quite a lot of distortion on your blades. So what I've done is I've sort of got a second-hand flywheel off a friend who's an engineer. These were sort of rejected, but they're a very hardened surface. I used to sort of stamp directly onto that. But what I've actually done now is I've got my stamp that's a lot shorter than my hand stamp, because I don't want all that extra leverage. I actually had Chris up at Davidson's actually make me some very short steel stamps, and obviously different sizes and things, and different maker's marks. So I've got some for my steel and stuff, and they're only 1 centimetre long, because you don't want all that leverage when you've got like 7 tons of pressure on it. You don't want it to spit out on you. And all I do is I use a very simple method of attaching those stamps onto the ends. Just use a little bit of double-sided sticky tape, and that just allows me to, when I take the pressure off and the ram travels back up, it allows that stamp to travel back up with the ram, and it means that I can change it very easily if I need to as well. So like I say, I've got a few different stamps. This is a smaller version of my logo that I use on some of the smaller tools like the Atom. I've got my conventional it's about 12mm in diameter, my original sort of size stamp. That works perfectly on all the other tools. But then I've got a few other stamps that I use. I've got some that have got my steel types on there, so I've got D2 on that one. And I've got a few other little ones that I use, which I still have only got a long version of, so I have to be a bit careful when I use this under the press. But this is this really cool little man doing hand drill, and this is for a company that I make knives for up in the Lake District called Wild Human. Probably one of the coolest logos that I actually emboss in a blade, so that's really smart. And I can just interchange them as I need them. Now, the only other thing that you've got to think about when you emboss a logo into steel is, like I say, this is when it's soft, so you will get a certain amount of distortion, and you also want to make sure that you prevent any kind of marking appearing on the back side of the blade as well. So like I say, I've got an old flywheel that I used to use when I used to hammer them in, and that used to make quite a smooth hard surface. But now what I've got is I've got scrap pieces of 01 tool steel which I've actually hardened and heat treated, and I leave the surface finish on that I want to sort of mirror on the back of the blade itself. So this is a piece of 01 tool steel that's not been polished, so it will basically replicate the same finish that's on the side, this side of the blade. And for polished blades, I've got a piece of tool steel again that I've hardened and heat treated, and then I've surface ground that, so that's about a 400 grit finish on there. So it basically disguises any kind of distortion that you'd get on the blade. So the other thing to think about, and you'll have to play around with it yourself, depending on the size of the stamp that you're using, depending on the steel type that you're using, you'll find that you need different amounts of pressure for different steels. So I've got various different sort of steel thicknesses and steel types, and I've played around with the pressure that is actually needed to give a really good clear finish without sort of destroying the blade. Now, the great thing about buying one of these hydraulic presses versus making your own out of a hydraulic bottle jack is you actually end up with a pressure gauge on there as well, so I can accurately read the pressure that I'm actually applying to the ram and therefore to the stamp itself. So let's show you how I'd go about actually embossing one of our blades. So this is a piece of 2.5mm thick 01 tool steel. This is one of our Craftsman blades, and what I tend to do, if you wanted to, you could line it up and put some pen marks on there, but because I've actually done it so many times, I can sort of visually line things up. So what I tend to do is line up the logo itself. I'm lining up the back edge of the stamp, which is effectively where my signature is, pretty much parallel to the pre-grind bevel that I've put on there. And then I'm just going to apply some of the pressure to this handle. So I'm going to start to get the ram to just kiss the steel, and then I can start to see the pressure gauge moving. And with this 2.5mm stock, I tend to put about 6 tons of pressure on there. So keep pumping until you get the dial up to 6, and then that's pretty much put the logo into the blade. I then release the pressure, and you'll notice how the ram goes back up, and because of that double-sided sticky tape, so does the stamp. And then you end up with a pretty clear logo in there. And after heat treatment, you'll end up with this sort of black actually in the logo itself, so it stands out even clearer. And the nice thing is because we've used the right steel type on the back, you don't end up changing the finish on the reverse side of the blade there. Now, you will get a slight bit of distortion. So what I tend to use is I get a very accurate piece of steel. This is actually a parallel from the milling machine, and all I do is I lay the blade on there, and it helps if you're either got a light source, an open window or something like that, and I look through and I'm looking to see if there's any gap. So because I've embossed the blade from this side, there's a very, very slight distortion in this plane. So the other little setup that goes nicely with the press itself is I've got an arbor press here. This is only like a little 3-ton arbor press, and I've just added a slightly longer handle to it so I can apply a little bit more leverage. And I tend to orientate the blade so that I'm putting that ram on the opposite side of where the stamp was applied, and just put a very little bit of torque on there, and you'll get familiar with it. The more you do, you'll know pretty much exactly how much pressure to apply to straighten that blade out. We'll just have another little check. And that's looking pretty good. So the secret is to get them as straight as possible before heat treat. So that's ready for the kiln now. But if you're working on things like folders, so we've got some of our little friction folders, our little nomads, I probably spend a little bit longer making sure that I get those absolutely bob on straight. So that's how we go about putting our stamped logo into the blades. So if you've got a knife of ours or a tool that's got like a natural stonewash finish on there or something like that, that's pretty much the method that we've used for actually putting the logo in there. So hopefully that'll help some of you sort of avid knife makers and tool makers out there. Obviously it's a bit of an expense to buy a press for just putting your logo in, but you can adapt it so that you can use it for other sort of jobs in the workshop. So some people will use it as a simple clicker press for pressing out leather and things like that, or some people will use it for actually putting press tools in and things like that. So it will have other uses than just your logo, but that's how we do ours. So slight disadvantage is you've got to be a bit careful about that distortion, but if you take your time with a simple little arbor press and a little parallel or a flat surface plate just to check that you get it straight before heat treatment, there's no real issues. And obviously doing it before heat treatment so it's still in its annealed form, so you're not going to put any stress into the steel. So hopefully that will help. I know a few people had asked how we go about doing it, and hopefully it will help you, save you time and lots of mistakes that I've made over the years. So thanks for watching, and tune in next time for some more knife making top tips.